What if I told you that your mind is secretly trying to trick you? That there are certain mental traps that you've been falling into all along without even realizing it? Welcome to the fascinating world of cognitive biases, where your decisions are being controlled by your brain's sneaky little tricks. In this video, we'll explore the 7 most common cognitive biases that hold the power to influence your choices. But don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot them so they no longer have any power over you. Starting with number 1, availability bias. Have you ever noticed how your mind tends to remember vivid and emotionally charged experiences more easily than others? Well, that's because your brain uses the availability heuristic to quickly process information based on the most accessible memories in your mind. For example, after watching a scary movie, you might be more cautious and even paranoid, thinking that there's a higher chance of a random act of violence occurring. But in reality, the likelihood of that happening is actually quite low. It's just that your brain is making it seem more likely because of the recent and vivid memories created by the movie. Number 2, confirmation bias. We all love to be right, but sometimes our desire to be right can make us biased. That's what happened to the librarian who was murdered by her friend. In her case, she had a strong belief that she was always right and would often argue with people to prove her point. This behavior led to her demise when she refused to listen to the warning signs that her friend was dangerous and ultimately paid for it with her life. 3, anchoring bias. Have you ever bought an expensive item only to find out that it wasn't worth the price? Anchoring bias happens when you rely too heavily on the first piece of information you see, even if it's irrelevant. For example, if a salesperson tells you that a suit is 50% off and originally priced at $1,000, might think it's a great deal. But what if the original price was made up and the suit was never worth that much in the first place? You could still pay a lot of money for something that's not worth it. Number 4, framing bias. Have you ever received a job offer with a salary range and failed to negotiate for the higher end of the range? Framing bias occurs when the way something is presented to you influences your decision-making process. For example, if you're given a choice between a 90% success rate and a 10% failure rate, you might feel less motivated to take action. Even though the outcome is the same, the way it's framed can change your perception of it. 5, loss aversion bias. Are you afraid of losing more than you desire to win? Loss aversion bias describes our tendency to feel the pain of a loss more strongly than the pleasure of an equivalent gain. That's why you might hold on to a stock that's not performing well because you do and want to admit that you made a bad investment. But this bias can keep you from taking risks and trying new things in life. 6, status quo bias. Are you afraid of making changes to your routine? Status quo bias is our preference for things to stay the same. For example, even if you're unhappy in your job, you might feel compelled to stay because it's comfortable and familiar. But this bias can prevent you from pursuing new opportunities and growing as a person. And 7, sunk cost bias. Have you ever continued investing in a failing business because you've already invested so much time and money into it? Sunk cost bias happens when you continue investing in something simply because you've already invested a lot, even if it's not a good use of your resources. By understanding these biases, you can learn to recognize when they're holding you back and take action to overcome them. If you found this video helpful, please let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.